So, authenticity, right? And so, vibrating at a point of authenticity for me, it meant, first of all, it meant that I had to take out all that darkness. So, in the previous video, I spoke about how I was able to detach from the programming of the titles, specifically of like the ones of like your bloodline, your earthly bloodline, like mother, father, things like that, right? And so, in order for me to detach from that, I had to get honest and be in my truth. And the truth was that I was abused. The truth was that I was molested. The truth was that I was trafficked. The truth was that I was abandoned, neglected, treated less than, right? And that I was in pain and that I had a lot of hurt, and that although I'm not a perfect individual and I wasn't a perfect individual, I was a good person. My intentions were always pure, right? And I wanted the best for these people, but their intentions towards me were the opposite, specifically at the end of it all, when I was forced into an awakening because they were literally trying to unalive me for something that I didn't even know I had. Spiritual gifts, spiritual inheritance, physical inheritance, right? And so when I wasn't living in my truth, I was indulging in addictions in those lower realms, right? In my root chakra, in my sacral, in my solar plexus, where I was just lustful, having all types of activities, indulging in with all types of food, not taking care of my body, engaging in things such as gossiping, cheating, just, those lower realms, right? Which we could call hell, like that, right? And so when I wasn't living in my truth, that's what I was doing. And although there was a time that I seeked help and that I went, to therapy, and I went into programs like NA programs, and I did a lot of healing, and I got off certain drugs and stuff like that, I always had like a clutch, something that I would fall on. And it wasn't until I started living in my truth and spoke about it. One of the things I was guided to do was to start this channel, go and share my story. And I didn't understand why, but I was being obedient because one thing I did know was that I was being divinely guided. And so I started speaking my truth. I started telling my story, and I started to live in my